Okay, 65, get this, right? 65 is brought to you by the same writers who brought you A Quiet Place. You've got to be shitting me. This was honestly absolutely diabolical. It's one of the worst films I've seen at the cinema. There wasn't even any atmosphere in the screen. So half the reason I go to the cinema is to soak up the vibe. Uh, it was just stone cold, like silence. I think a woman sat behind me giggled once or twice at some dialogue on the screen, but otherwise, 65 was an absolute zero. So ultimately, what you have here are two people pegging it around forests and other plains whilst bludgeoning prehistoric creatures along the way. Note I use the word creatures because the dinosaurs in this movie were, I barely recognized them. The flappy winged ones were not pterodactyls. The one chasing the little girl through the mud tunnel thing wasn't even one I recognized. And I think the one that kept coming back to get them was a T-Rex, but very seriously modified. They they were just like they weren't dinosaurs. Basically, it pissed me off a little bit, to be fair. And yeah, there was no trace of any quiet place type tension, which is slightly naive because I was expecting some, well, at least one scene similar to most of Emily Blunt's in that film, where perhaps Adam Driver's character and the girl, could like tiptoe in absolute silence through a dinosaur nest, literally treading on eggshells, you know. But absolutely fuck all happened. Nothing happened like that at all. They spend the entire film just making as much on the complete reverse, making as much noise as possible, as much rustling as possible when they're hiding, screaming, and just other manic stuff. It was just ridiculous. When the main characters in a film are on a mission to do something, but their actions are anything but, and they sort of go off on one. It's like that. So yeah, the dinosaurs are not dinosaurs. The characters, on the contrary, just go the complete opposite of what they're supposed to be doing. And I also thought 65, I thought it was based on time travel, like a space engineer sort of ends up entering a wormhole that catapults him 50 million years back to the prehistoric era, something like that. And then he has to sort of, futuristic pilot has to fight dinosaurs in order to get home, and home back in time. But it's not that at all. It turns out that there were actually humans around the same time as dinosaurs. They were just based on a different planet. So, it kind of takes the novelty out of those ancient prehistoric cave wall markings where, cheers for the handprints, Neanderthals, but over on Planet Zog, they've got fucking laser pens and holographic notepads. Yeah, so it was the opposite of what I assumed. If you're looking at the classic chart, I suppose it would be humans, then animals, and then humans again. Yeah, they're next door, basically, on another planet. Not even this just stupid storyline kept me interested at all. I wanted it. I craved for it to contain like a spark of intrigue, something that I could really sort of, get to grips with, and get juicy and really sort of empathize and to sort of lap up the whole tension of these two characters sort of darting around trying to avoid volcanoes and dinosaurs whilst getting back to their spaceship on the run, pounding. Excitement, but in a nutshell. And I didn't get anything at all. I was Jesus. So I think another point would be the little girl. So the character of the little girl, I don't know if it helps or not that she can't speak a word of fucking English or even intergalactic Neanderthal, but she I found it really irritating. Mills, played by Adam Driver, running around, not having a clue what he's doing or where he's going. Well, he kind of knows what he's doing, but he certainly doesn't know where he's going. To the sound of, so he's pegging it around to the sound of Badit, Badu, branch and lever, lever, branch, and all these random words. The little girl's just sort of just spouting all this bullshit as he's running around. He doesn't understand her, and likewise. I mean, I guarantee there are members out there of the British BAFTA committee who are, applauding this new, young, sparky, fresh talent gracing the screen with all her God knows what. But she was really annoying throughout. She really was. I don't know if anyone else felt that, but I was just like, oh, fuck's sake, what now? Like, at the same time, both so Adam Driver and Ariana Greenblatt, who plays the girl, there's no gelling. It's really wooden. Like, the performances between them are okay, but they don't. There's nothing but like. There's no atmosphere. There's no feeling. So the whole thing is an absolute shit show. So I don't even know why I'm elaborating, to be honest. So that's it. So dinosaurs I didn't recognize, irritating little girl just running around, not helping herself or Mills. Yes, of course, the underwhelming finale. So towards the end, skip forward a few, well, say minute and a half or something if you don't want to know the ending, but I'm going to tell you what happens at the end because it was so bloody baffling. Mills and the little girl, after all whatever the fuck that was has happened, they locate the ship. So they locate their escape pod, strap in, lift off just as the meteor comes plunging in, the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs. So they lift off, that comes in, and the credits roll. So literally they get into the pod, up, meteor, credits. It's really quick, and I can only assume the producers were like, oh fucking hell, just cut, just please just get rid of all this, because they and just hit to credits. They now so as well as this sort of abrupt, but thankfully abrupt actually, ending happens, something really confused me. So the anticlimax was enough, but I was left totally bemused. I mean, I'd actually walked out before the credits roll because I'd had enough of this film. So I've gone downstairs, but I stopped in the hall towards the auditorium door because I wanted to know if there was any post credit scenes, and there kind of was, but it was really weird. It was really confusing. So a mini city, I think it was, appears on screen. It looked like, so the pod's gone, so they've gone. And then you see these sort of prehistoric planes sped up. So there's sort of cameras sped up to look like the evolution of Earth, I think. And then suddenly you've got these I can only describe them as office blocks in the middle of all this plant life and vegetation. I don't know what the hell they were. I still don't. I don't care. I cared then. But you've got these flat foresty plains with a few odd looking like half skyscrapers. I mean, clearly WeWork's been around longer than I thought. But I stood there and I was like, as if I wasn't what the fuck, throughout the whole movie. This happens at the end, like these office blocks pop up. And I just don't know. I mean, humor me, please. Someone step forward and fucking tell me if they weren't. I need someone to explain, because I just endured this sort of hour and a half of complete tripe, like wooden chemistry between two actors, just sort of irritating behavior, dinosaurs that weren't dinosaurs, and then suddenly this, like these little these offices appear on this prehistoric land. I honestly don't know what the hell they were, but I was left feeling completely bemused. Now, I'm gonna finish up here because I've got nothing else to say other than I can only express my irritation and sort of bemused reaction. Parting note, please, I very rarely beg, but please avoid 65 at all costs. I saw it like slapped on the front of a bus stop a few weeks ago. Adam Driver, silvery sci-fi sort of outfit, holding this chunky gun, like vegetated land behind him. And I was like, oh, yeah, looks like a decent watch. Oh, it fucking wasn't. It was not a decent watch. Avoid 65 at all costs. Do not even bother.